lowest living waters in the world. It sustains the whole world.
How so?
Jerusalem is the center of the world. And the Dead Sea is the lowest dead waters of the world.
It's the lowest point of the world.
The lowest point of the world. And Kinneret is the second lowest point of the world. Tveria is the second lowest point in the world. And out of those two low points emanates the sustenance of the world. Because if Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, is the center of the world, and the whole world is sustained by the living waters of the well of Miriam. The sustaining, and if you listen to the voice of the water, you hear the constant sound, the constant movement, the never-ending groan and drone and life force of the water. And you understand why Hashem said, I gave you 3 lights. I gave you Moshe Rabbeinu. I gave you Aron HaKodesh, HaKohen. And I gave you Miriam. Light of the Torah, light in Aron HaKohen, of the Levim, light of Shulim Bayis,
And
light
music.
of music, light of incredible love for the Jewish people, and water that sustains the universe. Miriam. What are we asking for? What are we asking for? Nothing more than to have that in front of our eyes all the time, to give us the focus of where we need to go and what we need to do. We don't have focus. We ask for Mashiach. Why? Why are we asking for Mashiach? Mashiach is here. Mashiach is every moment of our life. Why are we asking for Mashiach?
Why do we keep throwing it into the future? Why can't we be present with it?
Why?
You asking me, or are you going to be a rhetorical question?
I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Because for me, I don't really wait for Mashiach. In my life, I see Mashiach. I see every day the miracles that happen in my life and in the life of the world. And I see Mashiach. And I see that who doesn't accept that light and who doesn't accept those signposts keeps asking.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps waiting, keeps not taking responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversation of responsibility is a conversation of listening to the voice.
Exactly. The companions that you talk about, and you mentioned also that you were very sick. The second day you said, last night I was so sick, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai came to my house and healed me. So why do you think they come to you, and why do you think you can see them and feel them, and most of us can't?
I don't know if I can, and I don't know if I do, but I know I can, and I know I do, because in my voice that I have inside, I feel them, I hear them, and I'm drawn to them with a great, great, great power.
What do they sound like?
Read the Zohar. Then you'll know.
It's like they teach you?
Yeah. That's all I do, and it's all I think about, and it's all that really moves my existence as I wait for Shabbos. So I can sit with them, and so I can learn with them, and so they can guide me, and they can teach me, and I understand their words, and I understand their voices. And they tell about things that are very much of this life. They don't talk about things that we can't relate to. They talk about things that are as actual today as they were in their times.
For example?
The voice is timeless. The voice is timeless. There is no beginning, there is no end. There is only Ein Sof. There is only the internal. The external falls away. And when the external falls away,
It's timeless.
it's timeless.
Right.
And that's what you have to connect to. You have to connect to the timelessness of your spirit, the timelessness of your being, the timelessness of your voice. Your inertia in this life has to fly away. And you have to become the light body that you're talking about.
That
you can
means
do that.
Right.
You can do that at any moment. It doesn't need any specific training. You have to desire it. You have to will it. Im tirtzu ein zu agada. If you
And
wish
trust it.
and you have to totally trust it.
And that takes practice, to let
That
go
takes
and
practice,
trust
yeah,
and not
it
have
takes-
doubt. We have
But we all have. And I'm the last person in the whole world that would say that I don't go through all of it every single day and every single moment of my life. But I think I've come to this point in my life where I understand that I'm so incredibly not important. And when you understand that only in is the true level of sound, is the true connection of the essence of the sound. You know, I can't understand why this is so difficult for people to get. I don't understand that. It's not like you hear the voice in your chest. It's not like you hear the voice in the back. It doesn't feel like you hear the voice in your fingers or in your throat. But you do hear the voice inside God's space. Why? Why is inside the head God's space? Because when there is nothing, there is everything.
And this is all the diagrams of the empty space inside the head are about.
There is no empty space inside the head.
But there's
There
space for the
is-
air.
There is, every part of the body is filled with air. Every pore in the body is receiving universal air through the body, and it's rising. The whole body is one big manufacturer of air for the central computer. if you will, which is the brain.
Mm-hmm.
But then there is another space. And that space, way, way, way above it all, where the waters don't flow. That's the space of Makom Maskil. That's the place of the shining of the intelligent. That's from where flows the gift that comes in, flows back to the universe. The most incredible thing, that when the moment arrives that a student of mine actually connects with that place. Women cry because the emotion is so overwhelming of touching God's space, of touching God. And men laugh. I have a student, a chassid, very, very, very special from Tzfat, very special. He goes into the voice, he cannot contain himself because he feels a tickle in the space. His brain is being tickled, and Hashem is tickling him and saying, you see what that is? You see what incredible love I have for you. We're playing like father and son. I'm tickling you, so you should understand what it is to laugh out loud. Women cry because the essence of woman is sensitivity and tears. Hashem saves the tears in a flask. And then they pour out in beautiful sound. Do you know what Hashem says? What is said in the Zohar about a rabbi or a cantor who sings the words of Hashem's prayers?
You told us this.
I can't even say.
I know, you told us this.
I can't even say. Because the consequences are dire. Why do you think that people lose their voices? You know, here is this incredible creation of God for the world, the voice. And it lasts. Let's say you have this gorgeous voice and you use it and you study music and you go ahead and you go into a career. And then if you're really, really a serious researcher of the voice, lovely. You go and you take a singer at the beginning of his career, and then you watch. And you take him every year and a half, and you watch the decline of the voice. And you say to yourself, how is it possible that he starts here, gorgeous, beautiful voice that can do almost anything, and then she winds up singing stuff that has nothing more to do. The two seem to be completely disconnected from each other. Why? And then there's the other question, where is the person, quote unquote, that is going to take that gorgeous instrument that was and fix it again? I mean, you have an old car. I have a 1997 car. I love my car.
I love my car
Okay.
too.
I love my car. Somebody takes care of it. So it should have everything it needs. Where is the person who is going to rebuild? But Jewish people, look at your land. Look at what a God you have. Look at what He's given you.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what He prepares for you to feast on. Taroch shulchan lefanai, make a table in front of me. Look at the table.
And then we go
When
and
I make
trash it.
Shabbos,
Ay.
yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
Not only that, but there's a plague of trashing our bodies too, and that's the MSG that they feed my kids in school, and the toffees with it's like there's no consciousness of the body is also kadosh. You want the kids to learn Torah, so they learn a really wonderful thing in Torah, and then you give them a tofi, and then they go all crazy and wild and can't sit still and focus. But this level of being disconnected so much from the land, from the body, from the mind, from the voice. This is the plague, and this is the aftermath, the destruction of Amalek and all the nations that are chasing us all these years. We're just a battered people. We really are, and we need help. And we need to help ourselves. And people like you who understand this and see it clearly have to be outspoken and give the message.
there are people that are great in this world that have tried to teach us. We're told that there is no more prophecy. It's nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
There's prophecy every moment of every day. We just don't see it. We just don't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
We hear the droning of machinery. That's what we hear, which drones out Hashem's voice
Not
in
only that,
Hashem's
we
space.
hear the droning of our own negative thought patterns that keep repeating and repeating and repeating. All the voices of doubts inside our heads. And
where do we go?
up and back, behind the eyeballs.
We go in.
In,
We go in.
in, up
It
and back.
isn't any place else. There is no place else to go except to go in. Rabbi Lazar says, at the beginning of the first hour of the night, when the day is expiring and the sun going down, the keeper of the keys of the sun finishes his process through the 12 gates that were open in the day, and they are closed. A herald then proclaims to the guardians of the gates, each one to his place to lock the gates. When the herald has finished, all of them come together and go aloft without uttering a sound. Then the accusing angels below begin to stir and to fly about the world.
The crow just flew
moon
behind you.
begins to shine, and the trumpeters sound a blast. At the second blast, the angels of song start up and chant before their Lord. Emissaries of chastisement also start up, and punishment commences in the world. Then the souls of men who are sleeping give their testimony and are declared guilty. But the Holy One, blessed be He, deals kindly with men and allows the soul to return to its place. At midnight, when the cocks crow, a wind blows from the north, but at the same time a current from the south arises and strikes against it, causing it to subside. Then the Holy One, blessed be He, arises, as it is His wont, to disport Himself with the righteous in the Garden of Eden. Happy the portion of the man who rises at that hour to study with zest the Torah of the Holy One, blessed be He and all the righteous listen to His voice. So it is written, Thou that dwellest in the gardens, the companions hearken for thy voice. Cause me to hear it. Nay more, God draws down him a certain thread of grace which secures him the protection both of the higher and the lower angels, as it is written, By day the Lord will command His grace, and at night I shall chant His song.